My camera says failed. Let's do one like that.
Your camera says failed.
When I put it on wide angle, it keeps saying failed. Is there something like a Halifax Network? Yeah, that's a good one. Let me get one there.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before I forget.
Oh, what is that?
It's just a little...
Thank you.
just a little something I've been doing for the guest. I don't know. It's,
Okay.
You know, I ask everybody here to come, you know, have a chat with me for, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And, I really appreciate it. You do get some content out of it, but I just feel like I could do a bit better. So it's,
This is amazing.
It's nothing special. You can open it when you get home. Yeah. It's just a little thank you, something to remember me by. And, because, we've kind of been talking like you're going to be exploring around a little bit. So
thanks, Chris.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. I appreciate all our coffee chats and
the
relationship we've grown. And, it's just something I've been doing for all my guests. So.
It's very kind of you, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I supposed to open it now or later?
You can open it later or now or whatever you want. If it's okay, nothing.
Let's take a look.
I feel like there's some anticipation here. So,
Let's see. Here we go.
Yeah, it's nothing too fancy, but just,
All right. Okay. Oh, it's from Black Bowl.
Yeah.
We delivered for them a few times.
Yeah, right on. Yeah.
They're in great. Dartmouth, right? Yeah.
My friend is good buddies with the owner. And, I found myself
That's awesome.
trying to customize everything for each client, in real estate. And sometimes you get so busy, you kind of fall behind. So I kind of made I use them for my closing gifts as well. And since I was doing that, I was like, oh, maybe they can do something for a little giveaway for my podcast guests.
This is amazing.
And they do such a great job. And, I order, it's ready, quick.
Yeah.
I go get it. And everybody really likes the product. And, I think everybody likes to have a little something here and there. So.
And this is very cute. Let's get a picture together, like a memory for us.
Yeah, ready? Absolutely.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Great
I'll send it to you. I'm gonna put it here for now.
Great photo, man.
Yeah, this is very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome. You deserve it. There, y'all packed up.
Yes, I'm all yours.
Awesome.
Sorry for the delay for a few weeks. I was just, visiting family and stuff, but we made it happen.
Family first.
Yes, sir.
I got a daughter coming, so it's not all about Chris anymore or Caitlin. It's going to be about that little bundle of joy. And
how are you feeling as the days are approaching?
You want my honest opinion? My honest answer? Caitlin seems to be I don't know. She's getting bigger and she's not complaining. And, people are like, oh, how's the heat bothering her? And I was like, no, she's going to spin class. She goes, walks the dog at the park. Not just one lap around Shuby Park, 3 or 4. I'm trying to get her to take less workload around the house. I can do that. She's like, no, I'm fine. She's still doing what she wants to do. The doctor she says to do whatever she can do. And if it's something that, she's like, can I do spin class? They're like, were you always doing spin class? She's like, yeah. She's like, then keep doing everything you're doing until you feel like you really are inhibited a a little bit by the whole process.
But you're being the thoughtful husband. About as much as you can.
Listen, I don't want to. I try to be, but... absolutely. I try my best, but Dad's a little nervous.
Okay.
A little bit, it's more about I don't know. I don't really know why. I have such a great support system. Shout out to all my jiu-jitsu guys. If they watch this, they're funny enough. We're all right around the same age, and a bunch of them are dads 2 and 3 times over. And they're really proud fathers too. They're really into being a family man. And, I always they're like, how you doing? How's everybody? And I kind of well, Chris is a little nervous, but Mom seems to be great. And they're like, oh man, that's just part of being the man. Cause it's not, the way they explain it is it's not real for you until they get here. Whereas like, you know, the wife can feel them, you know, she's like, oh, give me your hand. Like she's really active right now. And it's like, oh my God. It's like
it's real.
I don't mean to make it like sound like weird because it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But like to me, I just the movie Alien comes to mind. You know, it's like their limbs are pushing out, and it's like, is this thing gonna pop right out at me? Or
yeah, never been.
I mean, eventually, but
never been at that position. But I can only imagine, right? Like,
yeah, and it's kind of funny. Like, you know, Caitlin and I, you know, for years in our 20s, we're like, nah, we're not gonna have kids. We'll just be the fun uncle and aunt and. We live our lives and travel, and then you get caught up in life and you're like, oh, we're not really traveling that much. It's expensive, you know, and, you know, you got a home, we got 2 dogs, and like, I feel guilty even leaving the dogs at home for, you know, we went on a few trips and stuff, and like, I don't know, in my head, it's like, well, the dog's lifespan is so short that like I feel bad for leaving them even for a week, because to them, that's like, a month of their life. Like it's not quite to scale, but you know, every day to them is multiple days of ours in terms of aging and longevity. And like, I love my dogs, and I think it'll be the same like for my child. Like when the day's almost done, like I just want to get home. I want to get home. I want to see my wife. I want to see my 2 dogs and eventually my daughter. So, you know, and I don't know. Some people love to travel, and I know you like to explore.
I like traveling too. Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I thought I put that on silent.
Go ahead.
It is my wife, but
go ahead. Of course.
let me just.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing a podcast. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay, I'm literally right in the middle of it, but I wanted to answer in case something's wrong. Okay, love you, bye. Sorry about that. My wife's traveling down to my parents. My mother wanted to have like a baby shower for our side of the family, and I'm gonna, now that she's called. Well, actually, if I put on Do Not Disturb, her number still comes through. But
perfect.
Yeah, she's actually leaving probably right now from her work downtown.
Yeah.
At the Halifax police station, and she's driving down to Yarmouth.
I mean, like, by all means, if you need to keep it on, like, no problem.
Oh, yeah, no. You have iPhone or Android?
Android, yeah.
Yeah, so you know when you put the star?
Yeah. So they can go through the calls.
Those calls come through. I have like a handful of people that, you know, if you need me, you're going to get me if you're in that circle. So
I was going to say about the dogs, though. It's like, I hear it's actually a good practice before you have a kid. Like having. I
mean, definitely, it teaches you to be more responsible for more than just yourself. You know, they have a ton of needs, just like, you know, any other living being. They need to go to the vet to get checkups. They need shots. They need flea and tick medication, heartworm medication. I mean, gee, we've went through the ringer. Like one had cancer. We did chemo. We did amputation chemo. You know, he's not around anymore, but like some people are like, oh my God, like, you know, he did all that for a dog. I'm like, what do you mean? It's a family member. It's not just a dog.
Yeah.
And, you know, but like some people still, even though they get a pet, it's just like, well, it's just like my plaything or my, no, it don't matter here if you got 2 legs or 4, fur, skin, black, white, purple, whatever. Like you're getting the same level of care from me. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, not to like, you know, it's not to say I've done more than anybody else, but I'm sure other people in there, like Thor had cancer. We spent like $20,000 trying to save that dog.
Wow.
You know, amputation, 10 rounds of chemo, all the medication, all the aftercare, everything we could. And we just got a year, and I would have sold my soul for another year.
Right.
You know, so it's like, yeah, I mean, it definitely teaches you. And I mean, the pets, I mean, we're getting a little bit off on a tangent, but you know, pets are kind of like you sign up for heartbreak because you know it's coming. They're not living as long as you.
But I mean, I think it's a good test. It's a good practice to see, you know, if that's something you want to do, like in life, to take care of somebody like that, to help someone grow, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I could never imagine, like, even when Thor passed away, like, because Loki's my old guy now, and I say old, he's not that old, you know. Thor only made it to 6, unfortunately, or barely, just a couple of days before.
Because of cancer.
Yeah, osteosarcoma, the bone cancer. Yeah, so it's super aggressive. Seen it started in his little ankle in his front right paw. he was limping a bit, and we didn't think it was a big deal. And then, you know, lo and behold, it's a huge deal. And then, yeah, it was a terrible, terrible time. Terrible, terrible. You know, yeah, it was
I see.
Yeah, it kind of gutted me there, like, because it was like, it's like, you know, taken too soon.
Yeah.
You know, you thought we'd at least have like a dozen years or so,
yeah,
you know?
6 is too short, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, when he passed away, we only had Loki, and Loki, like, Thor, they're giant schnauzers. The other guy that's not here, he's rambunctious. He'd bark. He'd want to be in here. He'd want to see what's going on. So when I have podcasts, I just throw him at the farm. It's the outdoor dog daycare. And then Loki's getting a bit older, and he's got some tendonitis. So and he likes to kind of lounge around. Like, he's been on the bed since I've been gone. I'm sure he hasn't moved. Like, I checked on him, so he's pretty low maintenance.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we went down to one dog, I was like, oh my God, the house is like so quiet.
Yeah.
And then anyway, lo and behold, I don't know how the universe works, but Lou needed a home. So we got him around a year old, same breed, kind of, I don't know. It's weird. It's like the universe like knew we needed another one to heal us or something. But yeah, man, I mean, it's cool. It does restrict what you can do. You know, Caitlin, you know, she's grown up with dogs, and you had a father that was always gone. I shouldn't say always. I don't know how much, but I know he's gone quite a bit. You know, Air Force major, helicopter pilot. There, you know, he was gone quite a bit, working a lot. And they had pets, and you know, they just made it work. And I don't know. We had 2 dogs when I was young, and they're outdoor dogs. And I never really felt good about it. Like, you know, Mom was such a neat freak. Like, I love my mom, but she's like way too obsessed with like how clean a house has to be. Like, we clean before they come, and then she still, I catch her like, you know, kind of.
That was one of the reasons we actually never had a pet in the house.
Is that right?
The only time we had a pet was we had a fish for like a while, and then we attempted we just attempted to have a husky once.
Oh, that's the worst one.
And you know, it was not even
not the worst, but I mean in terms of maintenance and hair and
like, yeah, and like it was not even like in an actual house that we lived. It was like one of the like floors like below where we had, so we created like this nice little like living space, so where, you know, it was like next door kind of thing. It's like the lower level of the house,
right?
So my mom was like, I definitely want you guys to have the pet, but you know, not in the actual living space. So maybe like there's gonna be a dedicated room for the pet, and we can just take it out, like hang out, but not like where we're actually like living most of the time.
Yeah, I totally can relate to that. My mom, they'd go in the basement when it was super like crappy out, like snowstorm or super cold or hurricane rainy, or they'd go in the garage, and then they knew they could only go in like the entryway. Like sometimes Mom would let them come in the entryway and pet them and whatever, but they were largely out, and I felt bad because I was just a kid at the time, but they roamed around. Like, we lived in the country, man. Like, they'd go for a full day. We wouldn't see them. They'd come back.
They were lucky dogs. We were right in the city, so
they knew when feeding time was, and they wouldn't miss a feeding. They'd come back. They'd eat. And then we had dog houses outside. Like, they had their space, their kennel area. Yeah. And then if we went on really long trips, we'd put them on their big long leads. And, you know, my grandparents just lived up the road, so they'd let them off. You know, they're always well taken care of. I'm just, I don't know, maybe a little soft when it comes to domestic animals.
For us,
animals in general.
Yeah, it was like tops like a month. It took my mom to say like, hey, actually, doesn't look like we're going to be like a good fit to have a pet. So then we talked to our uncle. Our uncle took care of the husky.
Yeah.
Like, he took over the responsibility. But we were like, we tried, but it didn't seem like within the family it was going to be the right dynamic. So, you know, before it got too late, we just let our uncle take care of the dog.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, you know, at least you give it to somebody you knew, and family member get taken care of. But anyway, before I forget, I want to just do a little intro. John Bark, thanks again for coming on. Owner and founder of Haligone, and also now a little side project that we're going to talk about a little bit, Flyview.
Yeah, thank you.
So I know this your second time coming on. Always enjoy our chats. I think I mentioned up front, and let's dive into it a little bit. So
let's do it.
You know,
thanks for having me for the second time too.
Yeah. We won't mention the the in-between time where we
Yeah.
I had a couple technical difficulties, so we had
yeah.
to reconvene after you got back from Turkey. But everyone's good over there. Mom and dad are good.
Yeah. It was a quick trip for my friend's wedding, but
yes, right.
you know, it's always a good time to go see family. I actually extended it a few more days to spend more time with family and friends. Because especially when you fly like that long to the other part of the world, you kind of want that to be like worth it for the time you stay.
But are you a good flyer?
Usually I am, because I have to do it quite often with all this like going, seeing family, this and that. And I personally try to, you know, do traveling as much as I can too, whenever I find the time and the opportunity. So my body, I would say, it got quite used to changing time zones. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't get too jet lagged. You can kind of just roll with it.
Yeah, like even here.
Like what time is it in Turkey right now?
So right now, what time is it here?
Because you called me when you were over there. It was like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I think I was driving to jiu-jitsu.
It will be 10 p.m. there right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yo, gee, you guys were up late.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was calling you, it was definitely like a different part of the day.
See, sometimes you call, it's just like, oh yeah, it's like whatever time it is here. But like then you're like, oh yeah, I'm in Turkey. I was like, oh right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know,
thanks for picking up the call quick too. Like,
oh yeah, man. I was just driving. I seen your name. I was like, done. Yeah. But yeah, let's dive into a little bit. I know you want to talk about Flyview, but I'm kind of interested to hear, you know, kind of when we first got together, like Haligone was kind of just getting going, still pretty new. You know, you guys were more of like Uber Eats kind of on demand kind of, you know, type business. You know, you relied on individual contractors with their own vehicles. And you know, kind of tell me a little bit about the progression from, you know, how you started to where you are now, because from what I understand from some of our chats in between podcasts, there's been a fair bit of development in how you go to market and you do business now.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
It definitely feels nice, you know, after the last time we chatted, just seeing the progress, and I mean, for your podcast and like for Haligone in general.
Yeah, we're all growing.
Having this chance to reconvene. The business has grown a lot. Like I can tell you that, like the business has grown a lot, but with that, there's also been quite a few of like pivots that happen based on what the customers seem to care. Because from my experience, and you know, Haligone has been the first business I started, and like I'm also personally, like as we do things, as we talk to customers, I'm learning. You know, we are not doing everything perfect all the time, so we do some mistakes. We learn from that,
We're
and
human.
then keep shaping it up as we go along. But in summary, what has happened is going from the model you mentioned, where we had similar to Uber, like fully contractor-based model, we actually added our own fleet, and on top of that, we have built our own software tools, and those tools include anything from mobile apps the drivers are using to the admin panel, and then the panel that we use with our customers for them to track orders. And overall, what has happened is from being a company that uses contractors for smaller orders, we have become a full-fledged logistics solution in a way that we pretty much act as a contracted logistics department for the businesses we work with.
That's super cool.
We do not serve for like one-off orders for individuals. We specifically work for businesses. So if you have a business...
So it's B2B, no B2C.
Exactly. Yeah. So like for the orders we handle for your business, it goes both ways, because let's say you had a wholesale business in like Halifax, and let's say you're selling coffee, but you want to sell it to from your website directly to customers, and then you want to sell it to other like businesses. So like that's no problem, because we only work for you. We don't get in between your customers, but we can handle any orders you want to send.
Yeah, just like, you know, regular Joe on the street can't call you to deliver something over here.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, I guess it's B2B, but you are delivering to C.
Yeah.
But for the
through
business.
Our customers.
Yeah. And I can say, I don't think we wouldn't even been close to that when I talked to you the first time on the podcast. For those that don't know, prior to real estate, I ran a little seafood peddling business. And when I met you, was it Dave Finlayson?
Yeah, from Wanderers.
Yeah. He's not there anymore. he's doing something else. I seen him at an event. I forget what he's saying. Anyway, neither here nor there.
He's always on to cool stuff.
He's always on to cool stuff. Yeah, he's Helly Hansen there. He knew my uncle, and then we connected through you. He mentioned that, and then then he did the Wanderers, and now he's doing some other cool stuff. But he seems like he's pretty flat out all the time. Like I guess no different than us. We're always pretty busy, but. I was running that little seafood peddling business. So, people might laugh, but it's like the guys on the side of the road on the back of the truck, me and my father was kind of his idea that he put it in my head anyway. And we had this little kind of website and, I kind of started as a Google sheet and, we weren't making any real money, but it was a good little side hustle. I was still working a corporate job and, I'd always wanted to build something, because Dad, was a Red Sea electrician. He was, fisherman, like owned his own business, boat license for lobster fishing, and Gramp was a lifetime carpenter, also fisherman. They could do it all, and to me it was just like, well, I want to be able to do that. So anyway, that's where the seafood peddling business come from. And anyway, when I was looking to try and scale, because I unfortunately seen the end of my corporate job coming down the pipe, I was like, well, gee, maybe this can be my job. And but I'd already started to study for real estate. Anyway, we hooked up to see if I could kind of re-leverage some of my time because, a lot of time spent waiting for somebody to come pick up their order on the side of the road. And, it's not really conducive to being able to work on other things because I'm kind of stuck. And then I got to go to another place in another day and go get the product. And so eventually I had a pretty good system where I could get it freighted up and then I could just go pick it up from the freight company. And then basically we could box it up. And by the end of it, we had touch base and we had got it all set up. And the best thing I liked about you is every other company, it was like, well, we'll bring it this far for this amount of money. But if it's further than that, it's like X amount of cents or dollars or whatever per kilometer. And then, it's to a maximum of this far. And I was like, holy moly, it's going to cost me a fortune. Because and
it's variable. It varies a lot, right?
Yeah. So you can't really get a good handle on your overhead and your margins because and you want to service the customer. So sometimes if I went with somebody like you just eat it just to get it there. Pun intended, I guess. But what I loved about your system, it was like all driven by postal code. It was very easy. Like I was running a Shopify platform. You just,
flat all the time.
Plug it in. Like the flat rate, it was like if you're in this postal code, it's this much. If you're in that postal code, it's this much. And then you go. I think you guys would obviously you're bringing in a lot of products, so you're kind of filling up the vehicle. So you're having a full load, so that kind of keeps that price point. And I really loved the dashboard. You knew when it was getting packed up in the vehicle, they were in transit, and you'd get a picture when it was delivered. I think the end user even got notification. So it was very, very, very intuitive. And, like we say, we had to pivot. I had to pivot. And when I looked at it versus in my heart, what I really wanted to do, not to say I really didn't want to do that, because I don't want to really say, because I've often caught myself thinking about trying to get back at it, because I had a few customers reach out, said they haven't been able to get good products since I give up. And that kind of, makes me feel bad, because the quality of the goods that I was getting was my pride. Because I knew all the direct, my buddies run the fish
right
plant.
from the source.
My uncle used to be one of the captains of the boats. I'd know right when
when the fish was caught.
they were gonna be at the wharf before they got there. Because they'd radio in and the guys would call me and tell me. So then it was kind of like just in time inventory. But that's the other part why I closed it up. It was very dependent on them.
I see.
So if the boats weren't fishing, I didn't have product. Then people want their product. It was either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. They want it when they want it.
And they want consistency, right?
Well, and you know what it is. As soon as you can't deliver consistency, they're maybe looking somewhere else. And anyway, I just had to make the hard choice that, real estate was what I wanted to do. So I had to close it up. But for anybody that's watching that might have been one of my customers, I'm thinking about it. But I just got to get a few more things nailed down before I can have the bandwidth to think about anything else. Mainly get this child here and get settled with that. And but everything else is going great. But you have a great product, and I think anybody that works with you could probably attest to the same. But so how have you seen it kind of develop now? You're saying you're basically built in as like a logistics partner.
Definitely, yeah.
And you've kind of created the service now really based around exactly what they need.
Exactly. We are not a traditional courier that does orders like every now and then for businesses. Like you said, we are a logistics partner, and that brings its own software and the fleet for your business. And another, dimension of the business that most customers like, if you have the volume that's required to keep the van running for, like Monday to Friday, or like if, let's say, you just want to outsource the entire like orders you have for your business, just like what we do, there are options for you to get branded vans too. So in Halifax, when people are driving around, they would see certain vans of certain businesses, it would be branded for that business. But if they look closely to the passenger door or like the driver door, they will see it says operated by Haligone. That meaning that business made a decision to not to deal with all the operational headache of running a fleet and the liability and everything. And they decided that they wanted to focus on the core business by letting all that headache disappear to a business like us, which is, what we do. And that way you keep the whole branding for your business. And to add on to what you also mentioned, Chris, that note that goes to the customers when the delivery is completed, the entire process is branded for the businesses. So if you have your business, you're selling your products and it gets delivered to the customer, it doesn't say a driver from Haligone is coming. It specifically says, your order from business X, whatever the name of the business is getting delivered. Here's the picture, here's this, here's that. But all that to say, we really care about the experience to be customized for the partners we work with, while us being like behind the scenes, running everything and taking care of all that headache.
Yeah, man, that's super cool. And I bet you that's been super well received because, I just kind of think of some parallels. Like you're like the local Amazon, but for businesses. I mean, I guess Amazon's for businesses too, but like when I get a package, it's all Amazon tape. There's, you got to open the box to see, what you got. Yeah. Where you guys kind of have like, hey, this is from Luminate Co.
Illuminate or like any other business.
That would be. I was scrambling to think about one of your customers, but and that's the other thing too. We're talking about operating a business and some of the benefits of hiring a company like you. And I've caught myself doing it. We just talked about the gifting.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, I'm trying to customize all these gifts to all these clients. Specific to what they like and what they, trying to make it as personable as possible. And sometimes you nail it, sometimes you don't. Yeah. You never really know because they're pretty grateful to get anything. But life's busy. Business is busy, which I'm grateful for. I caught myself slipping a little bit and I'd be a little late getting closing gifts. And, might have forgotten one or two and then, have to follow up and get it. And I don't know, it just didn't look good to me. And it's not the service I want to provide. But to your point, when you get busy, some things are going to suffer a little bit. And you have to make choices to invest in systems to re-leverage your time to do the value-added work that's going to bring you more business, but you also want to keep the current clients happy. So that's where I hired on a gifting service to take care of that. And I customized it the best I could to what I thought people would appreciate. And then that's where I also thought of the idea. It's like, well, my podcast guests deserve something too, because, they're giving me an hour or so of their time. Yeah. And I just want to provide some good value. So,
and thank you for that too. That's very thoughtful, very kind of you. Thank you.
I mean, you're very much welcome. It's my pleasure. So for you, and I'm sure you've done it and or experienced it, and same with me. It's like when you first start, you kind of got to be the jack of all trades. You got to wear all the hats.
Yeah.
And I think the value that
you're going to lose some hair. That's for sure.
Hey, was that a shot?
mine is in the back. I can cover it a little bit now. Yeah. It's coming to the front.
I think you got a few more years before it catches up to you. But I think a service like yours allows these businesses that are probably trying to do it all to be like, hey, we're going to bring on Haligone. We're going to integrate them in the business.
Yeah.
Then we're going to get back to doing what we're really good at doing, is selling our products,
the core
and servicing
the
the customer. Yeah. Versus like, I mean, don't get me wrong, getting the product to said customer is super important.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're all caught up in those logistics, sometimes, things can get a little complicated.
And to be fair, it's also a tough decision for the businesses, especially I find.
Where do you find the biggest hurdles are?
Not to
jump in on you, but
this is kind of where I was going to, because the biggest hurdle that I find for like the businesses, especially when they make the decision, especially at the time of like scaling their business, and which is the time they're considering service like ours, right? Like, hey, maybe it's about time that we, like outsource and like get a company to handle that part of the business. But at the same time, contracting such part of the business that really requires consistency, and that's like too much moving pieces, right? Because in delivery business, there's too much like human factor that you need to like minimize. And that's exactly why most businesses say, I'm going to have my own van, I'm going to have my own driver for the sake of consistency, even if it's more costly, even if it's more headache, even if it's more liability. That's traditionally what it has been. And I don't blame businesses for that, because when they get a courier to handle it, they don't know if it's going to be person A or B or C showing up at the door. And some orders have very sensitive handling that is required. So that
you have to be familiar with the product or the
exactly like people don't want changing drivers and changing vans and all that, like all those question marks.
So how are you doing?
And that's exactly how we're able to like address some of those hurdles and pretty much eliminate those hurdles, because like I was saying, similar to providing a branded van type of option to the businesses who are at that stage of scaling and who have those volumes, we also guarantee, just like how you would have your own driver, your own van, we say, you know what, like at the end of the day, as a business owner, there are certain things like the CPP and EI and, some other factors by having an employee to your business that you need to take care of. But when you work with us, obviously, we hire the drivers and we take care of all that. So it's still getting paid, but instead of you dealing with all that, so we take care of all that because the drivers are working for us as an employee, but those drivers are dedicated for you.
So you're hiring specific, or you're selecting drivers that you may have in your roster specific to business X.
That's right.
To maintain that consistency, so they feel comfortable that they're going to have from their business to the end user somebody that understands what they're picking up, how they're to handle it, and how they're to get it to the end.
They keep seeing the same face every day, and just like if you were to have your own employee as a driver, same person shows up, same time every day, handling the orders, and you build that relationship. And over time, what it becomes is it just becomes a difference on the paper. Instead of that driver being an employee, they become a contractor through Haligone, but they're dedicated for you with a dedicated van branded for your business, which I find is one of the biggest ways that we're able to overcome those hurdles by giving that consistency.
How do you guys at Haligone kind of maintain that consistency for said businesses? Because, like you say, there's a lot of human parts involved in logistics and getting products from point A to point B. So when you're hiring drivers, are you hiring specifically for that business? Well, or are you kind of picking from your pool of like, hey, this is team Luminate and this is team XYZ? I think was it Cyclesmith or Giant?
The primary like bicycle business we work with is Giant.
Giant, sorry. So we can cut the Cyclesmith part out. Unless they want to hire you, right?
Well, I have reached out in the past, so
they're not
there's been conversations, but they are very keen on doing it on their own, which is understandable.
To me, though, it's just obviously you guys are in the business, what's entailed in getting moving products around Halifax. To me, it's just like you said. There's so many logistics to take away the liability and the potential that your delivery driver is sick or not available. Because although you guys provide that consistency, I'm sure if somebody in the team can't
that's actually such a good point,
right? Yeah. You got somebody, you just sub them in.
Exactly.
Whereas like, I'm sure as a business, you got one guy and then the manager or the owner is doing the deliveries after that.
That's
and
literally what happens.
You got to pay the car payments. You got to pay the car insurance. You got to have commercial insurance, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Fleet insurance, cargo
Fleet
insurance.
Like I can't even bring passengers in my car for real estate unless I have commercial insurance.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's just like, what's the difference if I'm driving my wife and me? Yeah. We both have insurance. Same insurance.
To keep track of kilometers and everything in case CRA asks questions. So
exactly. And then you got to do that too on the business end. So, eventually for me, once it becomes too many headaches, you gotta look at trying to source it out, and something that I've done recently that talking about wearing all the hats, like the realtor, I'm the sales guy, I'm the marketer, I'm the bookkeeper, I'm kind of half of the accountant, I got to track everything, my social media, my producer, editor, social media manager, and it's a lot. Like some people are like, man, you're busy, and you're like, you're right, I am.
Busy is good,
right? Busy, but sometimes it's busy doing things you got to do, but you don't necessarily want to be doing all the time. Like I love doing this, editing. Yeah, it gave me some joy because it was mine. But eventually, it's like, well, I just want to talk to cool guys like you and gals and everybody doing business. So I had to re-leverage my time and finally got to a place where business is good, and I had to stop looking at things like an expense all the time. But I got kind of brought up in that world where, I don't know, fishermen are some are very good and they look in as upgrades and fixes as investments.
Yeah.
At home, love dad, but everything was kind of an expense. It's too expensive. But like, when they're starting to modernize some of the plotter systems and the sonars and like basically stuff that could 3D plot the bottom of the ocean. And guess what you can do if you know what the bottom of the ocean looks like? Well, you can kind of set your traps in more optimal places to catch more lobster to make more money.
Increase chances.
Right? And increase your yield. Some people understood that and they're happy to invest. Old school guys like my dad were like, no, what we got's always worked. So we'll just keep doing that. It's too expensive. Everything was just too expensive. And some people are like that. They're very conservative. Like my wife is very frugal. I'm less frugal. I take more risks. But anyway, the long and short of what I'm saying, like I ended up getting to a place where I outsource. Like it's still me and all my content, but I'm not shooting it all.
It's the opportunity
I'm not
cost,
editing
right?
it.
So it's like you pay that cost to get another opportunity in a way to leverage your time.
And like, guess what? That bill comes at the end of the month. It's a pretty big bill.
Yeah.
But it's allowed me to grow the other parts of the business and focus on other stuff that if I got to sit behind a computer and edit a podcast or chop up some reels and, it's a better part of a half a day, full day, depending on how intricate I got to get with it. So, to me, when there's services like you out there and you do the cost benefit analysis, I mean, even if it was the same cost, I'd hire, you know what I mean? Like,
because there's a dollar value of the liability you're taking, right?
Yeah.
So cost wise, if, like you said, if it's the same cost, it's actually much less than what it looks on paper, because when you hire a company like us, God forbid, if there's an accident or something, you got zero liability.
Right.
We've got all the liability for your business. And for a business like delivery, where you have the ground operation happening like all the time, 7 days a week, 9 to 5 and longer hours most of the time.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that makes sense to reduce liability on that front.
Yeah. And that's one thing I wasn't sure of. Speaking of like long hours, are you guys operating outside of business? Like, are your drivers, Amazon now, that friggin' some stuff will show up on like Sunday. Are you guys like...
We work 7 days.
7 days a week?
We would start usually around like 7 or 8 a.m. depending on that driver's schedule. And then we try to finish by like 6 p.m. latest.
Yeah,
but
because people got lives too.
But. Exactly. And I personally don't want drivers knocking on people's door like after 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Especially because, that's the time usually people are just winding down after the day. And, I care about also getting the operation efficient enough that we are not running the orders out that late at people's doors. But times like Christmas, like the holiday season.
That's an exception.
You could see orders going like a little bit later than that, but we make sure like there is no like after hours drop offs in like some like extraordinary times at people's doors.
Yeah.
Because if I don't personally want something dropped at my door at that time, like I don't want my team going there at that time.
Yeah, then that's where guys like me come in that come knocking on your door at like 6 or 7 because I know you're home. Trust me, some of them don't like it. You'd be surprised too. Like if it's not an Amazon guy, I've knocked on doors. I can see people in the living room and they're like, "We're not coming to the door." They don't even know who I am. I mean, I usually dress pretty well, so like they probably have a pretty good guess. But like the days, like I remember people used to like when I'm a bit older than you.
Yeah.
And I remember landlines and dial-up internet. I actually remember when there was no internet.
Yeah. Okay.
And like when we got our first computer and like the first cell phone, like it was a freaking dad coming. I was like, "Look at this." He's like, "Can make a call." I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
But
good times.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy times. Man, I lost my train of thought here. Happened last time too.
That's okay.
What were we saying?
You were talking about the hurdles and like the people choosing outsourcing, reducing liability.
No, I'm trying to remember what. Oh, sorry. Yeah, freak. My editor will clean that up. But it's a good thing I got him too, because that's another thing I'd.
And it's working now, right? There's no issues about the SD card.
No. Yeah, no. Everything's rock solid. What I'm saying is like I remember a time when people like when you left the house, nobody knew where you were. There's one phone in the house. There's no phone in your pocket.
No AirTag, that's right.
No AirTag, no Snapchat map, no this, no that. You couldn't send your location or if you had a kid and you're tracking their phone.
Right. Sure.
So like, back then, like sometimes we'd have family that are just like, don't. It'd be like, "Hey, how you doing? You guys, come in." Like, just like totally impromptu visit, like family, uncles, aunts, whatever. Now I feel like nobody wants anybody in their home or they don't want to be bothered ever. It's like if you're showing up unannounced, it's like, what is going on? Everybody's got a ring cam. Everybody wants to see who's there before they,
right. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe, I don't know. It's funny, like, because like on the other end, the internet's broken down all those barriers. And you can get, and cell phones, you can get a hold of anybody, anytime, any place, anywhere. And half the time, if they don't answer right away, it's like, oh, like they're ignoring me. But it's like, hey, some people got a life.
Yeah.
But
it makes people crazy. Less patient, right? Like all
less patient. And it's funny. It seems like the more connected we've become, the less the less actual interaction like real human interaction we want.
I appreciate actually. Lately, I was chatting with a friend of mine for a very similar topic. It's like I appreciate when somebody just feels like calling me, like like later in the day, maybe let's say
I'm a big call guy.
8 p.m., 9 p.m. Like at time you would usually not consider as like a random time somebody calls. It also depends on the culture too. Like where I'm from, like like in Turkey, it's not a strange thing that you just get a call at like 10:30 p.m. because maybe your uncle just had a question about something and they're just calling to check on something. So. Or like your neighbor just knocks on the door just to ask something or like bring something. Like those are like kind of normal back home. I feel like the culture is also like another component. But I personally like when people are just comfortable, just chatting and like doing things even like later in the day. It's just talking about the delivery part. Like when it becomes someone that I don't know, like a random delivery guy showing up.
Right.
I wouldn't want them to show up like after hours, so I don't want my team going there.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And I can appreciate sometimes that the Amazon guys, they don't even knock. They just throw it on the thing.
Drop,
sometimes you're like...
No phone calls, no
right,
nothing.
Nothing. They take the picture and they go. It's like... So it's like, maybe you looked out the window, there's nothing, and then you look out, it's like, oh, the package come. And you don't even know because they're like ninjas and they throw it up there and... whatever, but I'm a huge call guy. Like, if you call me just to like see what's going on, like just like thought of me, or like I do it all sometimes. Like, I haven't talked to my buddy Steve Benson in a while. Like I called him the other day. I was like, I noticed we haven't like. He's got 2 kids, and he's busy, and he's trying to get in. I think he's almost in. I hope so. Hopefully, I don't jinx him, but I think he's going to be in the Halifax Police. He's been in the recruitment process. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey man, like how you doing? Like we haven't really seen much of each other and just want to kind of catch up. Maybe we can go grab some wings or whatever. And anyway, he's like, oh, absolutely, man. Like, yeah, definitely want to do that. Like, but got family over this week from Australia. That's where he's originally from. And he's like, let's hook up after they're gone and we'll get something on the books. And we're like, I don't know. I'm a big phone guy. I think if you call me, like, that's like I need to pay attention to this.
That's one of the places I want to go, by the way, Australia.
Yeah.
I keep hearing a lot. Like, it just keeps coming in different conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how the universe works, eh?
Yeah.
Sometimes you start talking about stuff and then things start happening and it's kind of the stuff you wanted to happen, but you never really, really said it. But next thing it's like, well, I guess we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like the universe wants me to do it.
You got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
So, kind of went off a little tangent, but I guess that's what these things are for. So I think it's important though, before we drop it, it's like, if you can't get a text message, like if you can't convey your point in a text message inside of a couple sentences, I just want you to call me. Just call me.
Yeah.
I would rather talk to you.
I find voice messages pretty effective.
I do voice.
Too,
I do voice.
Like if I don't have, like, sometimes you just want to send it, like, at least like a voice message. Even if you cannot call, I think voice messages.
Yeah, I have clients that are not phone people. Like it's call and they don't answer, but text, boom, right away. So for those folks that generally don't, not that I shouldn't say that they don't want to be on the phone, maybe they're unavailable or they're just not as concerned with their phone, I'll just leave a voice message. Especially if it's explaining like contracts or an offer and the contents of the offer, how it was wrote up, next steps. And at least like, because like sometimes like I've had situations like this, the text message gets taken out of context or misinterpreted and it causes a host of problems. And some people feel like they can dictate your emotions through text message too, which is like, I feel like if you write really long messages and like succinct, like one after the other, they think like you're upset. But like I'm just trying, sometimes you're just trying to be detailed. So I feel like just a voice message, or usually I try, if they like it, I'll just call them.
Yeah.
But and also at least from a tracking perspective, God forbid anything went awry, at least the voice message is still there. Like you can check that.
Yeah.
And it's in your text thread. Be like, no, actually, if you listen to this, I said that. And then you text me, said good or whatever. 100%. So, yeah, like, a phone call's worth 1,000 words or a voice text.
I find like texting, even like in our business, is very effective because sometimes when we go to a door for a customer, we call them. If there's no response to the door, they don't respond. But then the moment you text, sometimes they're like, oh, okay. Like then they get back to you the moment you send a text. Yeah. Because obviously when they get a call, it's like a random number that they don't know.
Yeah, I think there's some anxiety. They don't know who it is. They think it's a telemarketer. There's a lot more of those out there now. Like I get a million calls or so-and-so from so-and-so real estate lead gen. Like, how would you feel if we got you X amount of leads a month and you don't have to pay anything until they close? And I'm like, guys, there's 75 of you that called me today. Like, I got to get some kind of call. Like, I don't know if there's I know one of the agents I called. Huh?
Like filtering the calls somehow?
Yeah. Well, one of the agents I had a deal, almost got a deal together, but we got beat out. But she had like a press 3 to get through. And like, I think most of the, people making these calls for these services and the cold calls, like once they hit that, they're like, oh, this person probably isn't going to want to talk to me. So it kind of eliminates that. I don't know. I'm going to call her back and see who that was through. But man, I get some pile of it. But anyway, but yeah, phone call's good. I mean, text is great, but for me, it's like, I'm a very dry, like, don't expect too much grandiose stories from me. Like if you ask me a question, I'm just going to answer it.
Yeah.
And I kind of got in trouble, not in trouble, but like my old corporate job, like, I don't know, the corporate office in Toronto, they kind of want to be,
Yeah, you were based in Toronto, right?
Yeah,
For Unilever?
Yeah, well, I was working out of this office, but base was definitely in Toronto.
Okay.
On 160 Bloor Street. And I remember the ops manager there. She was kind of whatever, but she was a good lady. But anyway, she had her hand held, or had to fluff her up a little bit. So sometimes if I wasn't like, hey, Miss So and So, like, how's your day? How's the family? Is everything good? Like, she just asked me for stuff to be like, see attached, and I just send it.
Wow.
Like one of my performance reviews. It was a buddy of mine, my buddy
to
George.
The point.
Yeah, I don't know, like. I had so much coming at me that it's just like I didn't have that bandwidth to, you know, not that I didn't care.
Yeah.
You asked, here it is. I hope you have a good day. Like, Chris, like, whatever.
Yeah.
So my buddy Jordan Gleed, we kind of started as reps here in Halifax together under I call my business dad, Rick Monroe. I learned a lot about, I learned hard work from my father, but then I learned really how to operate a portfolio business from Rick. And then me and Jordan, he was in through this accelerated leadership program that they always have kind of through or at least in Unilever, I think I don't know if it still exists or not, but they kind of bring you through and they'd run you through a various amount of different positions in different areas of the country to then kind of suck you back into the Toronto head office and then kind of accelerate if they've seen the potential, they kind of run you through to get you to like a more senior level leadership position. And anyway, Jordan was the guy that was in that seat, and then I was in the other seat, the rep. I say seat, rep position. Yeah. He's a great guy. Still keep in touch here and there. I think he's got at least one kid, maybe a second. He's also starting to run marathons and stuff, so that's kind of where we've reconnected. It's like, oh, crazy, you ran that 8-hour endurance race. Oh, man, like I just ran a marathon. Oh, I've seen you run that Blue Nose half. But, yeah, man, it's one of those things that...
Yeah, I hear you. But, like, for me, like, especially if you, like, look back into, like, business stuff in general... You know, some people marathons, right? It's like they really like running the marathon. They like doing this, doing that. And I realized, like, especially within the first few years, by focusing a lot, you know, obviously because you want to build something, you want to grow it, you want to keep people happy. I realized I had sacrificed like a little bit more than I should have regarding like my personal hobbies and things like that. So I really like, especially within recent years and stuff, I really try to like go back into those things. Like I used to play drums, for instance, like just the other day. Yeah.
I can't play any music.
Man, like
a recorder. Okay. Au de la Lune.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore, but that was like grade school.
Well, these are all good stuff, right? Because just 2 days ago, a buddy of mine, he texted, he was like, hey man, like we want to do like a shoot for this song, like with another friend by Christmas time. Do you want to like, you know, get used to that song, like this is the song we're planning to play, and then we can like do a shoot together, just like, you know, for fun. I'm gonna play the guitar, she's gonna be the vocal, whatever. I said sure, let's do it. So right now, whenever I find the chance, I try to just go back into some of my hobbies, just keep building onto them, because you know, everything is good to grow the business, to keep providing more value, but I think we need to keep in mind that there's that personal mental part of it that needs to be, you know, like nurtured over time instead of being ignored. Because especially after we hit our like year 3, that was a little bit more clear to me, like to make it a sustainable like progress in the long term. I had to like take care of myself too a little bit more than I was. So I'm always especially in the recent years, I'm always like more keen about that like personal development part. And I can see like more I make those adjustments in my life, like it also reflects my personal energy, right? Like when I sit down with a customer, like the type of relationships we can build.
You're just more available
and like more genuine, like because it's business after all. Like you need to be like in that business sense, but 100%. I don't think we should forget that we're all humans after all.
Well, we need to take care of ourselves too.
Yeah.
And I kind of make this analogy a lot. It kind of come up a few times, like, and I've been on a big personal growth journey as well. And I think this is a good segue to talk about your next venture, because I think it kind of ties into this. I kind of compare it to like, I think you're going to Toronto soon, and you just come back from Turkey. You know, you get on, they do the whole flight instruction thing. It's like, hey, if anything happens and these masks come down, like you have to put yours on before you can help your spouse or the person next to you. So it's like, you know, you have to be in a place, a healthy place to be the best you for your business, for your customers, for your family. And I think you've kind of recently kind of been re-exploring things, you know, not only in the music side that you just shared, but you kind of had a passion for drones. And that's kind of developed into your new kind of side hustle. Flyview.
That's right. Yeah.
So, before we wrap up, and not like we're doing it right away, why don't we dive a little bit into that and tell me kind of where did that come from? What has it kind of turned into? I was kind of looking at some of your content and, some pretty cool point of views, displaying some of the businesses that I believe some of them are current partners with Haligone. But why don't you kind of give us a little high-level synopsis on what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, flying drones, it's been a big passion of mine for so many years. Not just flying, also building the drones, because my background personally, it comes from engineering. So I did electrical and computer engineering, but even in high school, I was always involved with like robotics and learning more about these things. So I started flying drones back in like 2010, which was a time when the most well-known drone brand right now, which is called DJI. DJI was not even selling.
Mavic Pro at one time.
You had? Okay, that's good. Like at that time, DJI did not have any ready-to-fly kits. They only had like ready-to-build kits. They were called like F450 kits. You would buy the kit and build it yourself. And those were the times I was actually flying for a production company back in Turkey. We were shooting commercials for Toyota. But then
that's cool.
Thank you. But then when I started, moving away and I became an immigrant in Canada, the priorities changed and I didn't fly drones as much. And, the regulations and everything, they were just becoming more and more complicated because the world was trying to get used to the whole concept of drones. But recently, just like you mentioned, I decided to, pick up on my hobby and then do it in my free time on the weekends and stuff. And I did a few shoots here and there, and then I decided this could be a good value to existing Haligone customers, because if you have a retail shop, obviously you want to promote it.
Yeah.
And some of those retail shops are in like such nice little spots around the city that sometimes it's even hard to find. Like, to give you an example, one of the spots that we did the shoot, it's right by Bishop's Landing, by the waterfront.
Yeah.
Such a nice prime spot.
It's beautiful.
Everybody knows right by Bicycle Thief.
Oh, yeah.
But some of those retail shops are like, under the building, like hidden in the corner, so you don't really see them easily. So at Flyview, long story short, what I do is, after I did a few shoots, some businesses started asking, and I pretty much said, whenever there's a request, I'm just going to go do it like in my free time. So it's all done by drones. So all the videos you see on the page, nothing is shot by using any like cameras held by hand.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is one-shot drone footage where we do a fly-through of the business space. So just to recap, whenever a customer requests a shoot with Flyview, the entire shoot is done in one shot by using the drone. And I'm using a technology, it's called FPV, first person view. And that's pretty much, I get the goggles, like the virtual reality goggles, similar to VR.
Yeah.
But then I get the live feed from the drone's camera. And that way, and the drone is very tiny, but it's very powerful, and we can get 4K footage with that.
I was wondering how you were manipulating that thing. Because like my Mavic, it was small, but it was like, when all the wings were out, it was a fairly sizable thing.
That's pretty big, yeah.
And I watched a few, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but like, I don't know, maybe with the wingspan out, it was probably this wide. And I watched a few videos, and you were going into some friggin' pretty tight spots. And I was like, holy moly, is he going to hit that?
Yeah.
And I was like, nope.
Like I can fly inside shelves and stuff. And that's one of the ways we can also overcome the regulations in the city.
I was going to ask you if there's any hurdles holding you up. Because I think the Mavic Mini is the only one you don't need a license for. So yours would be smaller than the Mini.
Yeah. Mine.
But equivalent in all other aspects in terms of video quality.
Yeah.
And you said they're even more powerful.
Yeah, mine are actually like Cinewhoop drones, which are like handmade. What I mean by handmade is pretty much like built. Like,
so did you put it together?
Not this one, because these drones that I'm flying right now are called micro drones, which are the drones that are below those regulations in the city. Because most of the DJI drones, they don't even take off in the city because it's a red zone. So for the shoots that I'm doing, because most of them are in the city, I'm using these micro drones, which are about 90 grams, and the
90 grams?
90, yeah, 90 grams.
That's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's
and
like this empty can.
It's size of your palm. So
that's cool. Are they expensive?
It can get pricey.
Like if I wanted to buy one like you,
yeah.
Can you speak to the price point, or do you rather not?
I mean, no, I can, because if you want to start with the FPV flying, you can start. I would say a proper setup would be a minimum. Like you can get 15 to like 1,500. Yeah, 1,500 would be a minimum setup.
So they're definitely not cheaper than regular drones.
No, but
the Pro was probably 1,600.
Exactly,
and
like
with the Fly More package with an extra battery.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing, because you need to get the batteries, you need to get this, you need to get
that's
that.
what costs money.
So for like a proper setup, you're probably looking for like at least 2 to 3K for you to have like a full flight setup. And usually you don't want to have just one drone either. You want to have a spare one just in case something goes south.
Yeah, well, it's just like, I used to do a bit of photography. That was kind of, something I picked up as a hobby, me and my wife doing stuff. And anyway, not to get too much on a tangent, started in the bodybuilding and the powerlifting, and I had a friend that was into it, and was like, you think we could do like a photo shoot? And I was like, well, I'm sure we could. And then anyway, so you always need a backup camera, because because I started like a little side hustle, a couple $100. I take like, X amount of photos. I give you 10 edits. And anyway, when I got out of that industry, I just kind of closed that up, because it started as a hobby, and then I don't know. I have a bad habit of making hobbies into more than just hobbies, when sometimes maybe it should just be hobbies. But anyway, so I definitely get that.
It's a fine line in between, though. Yeah, that we need to be careful.
It's just like, I don't know. Once you start getting good at something, it's like, well, can I make this a business?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's my toxic trait. I don't know.
That's why I'm like, I know exactly what you mean. That's why I'm really trying to keep Flyview like at the point where when the requests come, the inquiries come, I'm all about it. I do it, but
I'm not too many come in.
I'm not going out and like trying to like do this as my next big thing, because like what I do is Haligone.
Yeah.
Just like you can see here.
Yeah, it's kind of why I give up the seafood peddling. Like I'm the realtor.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the fish guy.
Like this is who you are and this is who I am. But at the same time, this is a hobby of mine. And if people want me to go shoot, because even if I'm not shooting for them, believe it or not, I would probably drive to Wolfville and just take it off and like fly around, or like go into some spaces in my house, just fly. So instead of doing it on my own, I do it for other people, so other people get value.
How do you do with like, I know some people have done like virtual reality, like the games, and like, they're maybe walking on like a top of a skyscraper, and they're like, somebody's taking a video and they're like, oh, yeah. Do you kind of get any vertigo? Like I'm not great with heights.
Oh, you do. Like,
oh yeah.
Especially in this type of flying, like FPV, the first person view.
That's what I'm asking. That's why.
Like
you get a little.
And even people watching, they can do a quick Google search, because this is considered to be the closest thing you can get to actually flying a fighter jet, because with these drones, you can do what's called a manual mode, an acro mode, not like a regular helicopter, regular drone that flies around.
That won't let you do crazy stuff.
Like you can fly 360. Like
you can fly it upside down.
You can fly upside down. So
sideways, up,
sideways, whatever you want.
You do like a
whole loop, as many as you want. So when you're in the goggles, you're flying around, just like a fighter jet. You can do loops, spins, everything.
You're just not getting the G-force, but your brain is like, oh.
Yeah. And it's often people actually cannot really fly these drones by standing. So you need to be sitting down, because
you'll fall over.
Like you fall over, or like you're just reacting to whatever you're seeing in the goggles, and the vertigo effect becomes real. Yeah.
So wow. Yeah. I would have a tough time. I'd definitely have to be sitting down.
Yeah.
Because it kind of makes me think, like, I watch a lot of movies, and some of them are like the more modern warfare movies, and some of the like the new modern warfare, the warfare stuff. They're flying these non-piloted drones, and they're kind of all first person.
Yeah.
They sit down at a desk and that's their, they're in the military, but they're not flying a plane. They're flying this thing.
Yeah.
And it's friggin' way up there.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like, it's nuts, the level of... I remember being a kid being like, man, it'd be so cool if we'd have like remote control flying helicopters or planes. And then like they started with like these RC like little things, and now we got...
you've seen the whole progression from the RC helicopters, right?
Well, see, and like I was talking about landlines and being young and remembering that, but like, I grew up like, the first gaming console I got was a Sega, and the first one I ever played was my uncle's NES.
Okay.
Regular Mario Brothers 3. And then we got a Sega, and then, Super Nintendo was around, and then N64 come out, and that was like, Mario 64 was like, holy cow. And then one year we got an Xbox. And like, keep in mind, like, I've gamed my whole life, but I was never like out to seek out gaming. Like my parents, God forbid, like I know some people aren't as well off, but like, we weren't, I mean, maybe some people were spoiled, but like we weren't begging for these things. Like they were just like, oh, this would maybe be a good gift. And we got a Sega, and then it was a 64. And then I didn't even know Xbox was a thing. And we got this. I remember that was one of the best Christmases because everything that year was like crazy because we didn't really like, we were at the age we weren't making lists for Santa and like, stuff, if you celebrate Christmas, at least we did or whatever. But it's like we got an Xbox, and I was like, what the frig is an Xbox? And then they're like, oh, it's a new gaming console. I was like, okay. And then it's like, come with Halo. You ever play Halo?
No. Fun fact about me.
No games?
The only thing I ever played, like last gaming console that I played was PlayStation 2. After that, I've never had any games. Like I've never had any video games like on the computer. Like that was kind of a rule in my family, like no video games kind of thing.
Hey man, that's shame.
But
for better or for worse, I think it might be for better.
I definitely did have, there's this like PlayStation cafes like in my hometown, with friends we would just play like FIFA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe like once a year or something like that. Like I'm not like too far from that world, but I'm definitely one of the most limited people when it comes to gaming world. Yeah,
that's fine. Looks like you put it to use in better places. So some people can get it. It gets addicting, right? Yeah. But I just remember, just like in terms of the advancement, it was like Halo was like it looked like almost, at least comparatively to all the other stuff, it looked like so real, like the graphics and the. Anyway, it gets you sucked in, but just like kind of the progression from. Call it like I'm 36, I'm going to be 37 in October. Like, so it was 37 years ago, what there was to now is just,
it's insane.
There's been quite a little spike in innovation across the globe in terms of what's possible.
Even with what we were talking about, 90 grams, like a drone that's 90 grams that can do all that, like 4K footages. 10 years ago, that was like unheard of. Like,
well, think of like when did they put that Apollo on the moon? Was it the 70s or the 60s?
You would know better, like
right.
I need to check. Yeah.
But anyway, they say that this cell phone has more power than the computers that put it on the moon.
On the moon, yeah, that's right.
And even the technology, like you got real people in this thing, and they're like, looking back, it was like really hairy, scary stuff. Yeah. Like, hopefully, we can do this. And and the computers that were the size of the power of our cell phones were, probably the size of this house, like,
And with AI now, with the way things are going,
everything was manual calculations on the fly. Like now, I'm sure AI can just be like, and recalculate a route.
2 seconds.
Like, Elon's catching rockets and reusing them, and we got Starlink satellites, and
it's an exciting time for the world.
It's a crazy time to be alive, man. Yeah. Crazy time to be alive. So Flyview is just kind of as the requests roll in, you're kind of going out, you're doing the shoots, seem to be getting good feedback because you're getting more requests.
It's very fresh because I also did shoots like when I was traveling. So I did one in Toronto, I did a few in Turkey. So, it's open for anyone. So if I have, someone asking to do it from another city in Canada, like I can always fly up and like do it. So right now, because it's new and I'm keeping it at the hobby stage, I'm just leaving it as the requests come in. I handle it.
What about if they start coming in too frequently?
Well, if it becomes to a point where there's more demand, like, I will just scale it because I can always get another person involved. Right. And like train them for this.
So when it comes too overbearing for you just hire.
Yeah, exactly. And then
it's a good problem to have.
Definitely. I think if that becomes a problem, like we can definitely get a solution for that. But right now, my goal is to keep it at this hobby stage where I handle it for people, as the inquiries come in. It's more like you can think about like a boutique, like a drone filming business at the time being.
Yeah.
Because my main focus, like I said, it's Haligone. But with this, if there's too much demand, it's not the end of the world to just, start a team and train the team properly and to keep running it, to keep people happy and take it from there.
Yeah. No, I remember I was kind of talking to a friend of mine not that long ago, and there's just me. I can't, I'm not quite at the point where I guess I could hire not another me, but another agent, make a team. But they're like, how's everything? I was like, oh man, like crazy busy, like almost like, and I almost caught myself. I almost said like almost too busy, but it's not true. But I remember not too long ago, and I'm sure you can think about, the early days of business when, you get a dribs and drabs of, customers here and there, and it was great. And then you yearn for the times where you're almost slammed because you see all the other successful entrepreneurs or on my side of things, realtors that are just like, oh my God, I'm so busy. It's like, yeah, I welcome it now. Like, yeah, it's like you say, if I get too busy, well, I'll find a realtor I can mentor and bring on and re-leverage my time back. It's like,
good problems. Yeah.
Yeah, good problems, right? It's like it could be worse problems. I think there's a lot more worse problems in the world.
And I find more you get involved, more you have people around you who are like in a similar bandwidth. So right now, if that became the situation, like I do have people around me who are very talented, like drone pilots that I fly, like, socially.
Right.
So, we would simply just say, hey, do you want to come, like jump onto this project, do this, do that.
Yeah.
Like it would be pretty much a no-brainer for us to team up that way.
So is there a little kind of network of drone operators that you kind of hook up with, or is it just kind of people that you've become friends with, or is there a kind of like everything, like my jiu-jitsu community? Everybody's got a community. Every hobby's got a community, right?
There are some pages on social media where people do stuff like that. Like
just meet up?
Yeah, larger communities. People share spots where they found like a nice scenic spot that you can go do a shoot like on your own kind of thing. Because even the like flips and things I was saying for the manual flight, I mean, you don't do it for just random store shoots, right? It's more like for fun and to improve your skills. But yeah, so I do fly with friends near me. I'm not really flying through the larger communities right now.
So just personal acquaintances.
Just personal friends, like people who've been flying around me. Just time to time, we just go outside the city, take it off, and just have some fun, improve some skills. Yeah.
Yeah. I just have this thing pop in my mind about talking about like groups and stuff. Like, you ever see those, maybe it was a more my generation thing, but like, and I'm sure it'd be engineers doing this stuff. Oh, that's Loki. He must have to go pee. I was just thinking, like, I used to see these robot fight shows or whatever. They'd like have this like rolling robot and have like smashing hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
Next thing we'll have to open up a drone fight league.
That's actually what I was mentioning, like back in high school, that I was into robotics and stuff. There's those like robot leagues. It was called FIRST, like, FIRST. Where you build a drone and then the drones are like fighting with each other kind of thing.
That's crazy.
So
that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Singing around all up in the sky. But yeah, man. So before we wrap it up, any big plans for Haligone? I know you say Flyview, you're kind of taking it as it comes. Like any big plans that you can reveal for Haligone coming up before we let you out to have your weekend?
Absolutely. I mean, since Haligone is, my life, that's what I do. And with the momentum that we've got in the recent years, we're just adding on top of it this year too, because within the past year, one of the larger projects, like contracts we've been handling, has been for the government of Nova Scotia.
Cool.
And that was for what you might have heard, or like even the viewers today. It's called the Nova Scotia Provincial Lunch Program for elementary schools and like high schools. And the program is ramping up. Last year, it was in phase 1, where there was a limited number of schools that we were handling. But every year, it will just keep like increasing and increasing. And right now, since we're in the summer break in 2025, before the academic term starts, we're just waiting for the final numbers to ramp up the game for that contract.
That's cool, man.
But that's just one of them, as we find our niche with what I was mentioning, becoming a contracted logistics fleet for businesses. There's quite a few other like opportunities that we're working on right now, and fingers crossed, as things go in this direction, we will be scaling the business further and increasing the footprint in Halifax and saving more headaches. Saving more headaches for businesses, helping people.
That's what
focus
being
on the core
is all about, man.
Yeah, so We're just on top of it. And yeah, my personal goal is though, like at the software side of the things, that's one of the biggest advantages we have, because earlier, one thing I wanted to mention to your question, you were saying, so when people have these dedicated drivers and vans, how do we choose the right person, right? The right driver to keep their systems running smoothly? I find it's more important to build the right system with the software capabilities we have than choosing the right driver, because obviously you need to have the right person with the right communication skills, driving skills, and all those combined. But the human factor is like hard to, duplicate. Definitely. Because in each person, they come with different skills and, different value.
Everybody's unique.
Bring, yeah. But ability to customize the software has been a big piece for us, because when a business works with us, if they say, hey, everything is great, but I need a button. If I click, it does this. And it's going to save me 3 seconds on every order. And guess what? If these guys are submitting like 200 orders a day, 3 seconds per order, and it takes us to do maybe like, a few hours of coding for us to put it in, we're saving some headaches for them, that's for sure. And that's what I wanted to add. Like,
huge value added.
We're just making sure the system is customized to an extent where not only for that customer, for other customers too, it can be duplicated. And
because once you did it, you can just copy and paste, kind of, so to speak. If it's the value to the next customer, or you reformat it to how it is for them, or how it would be for them.
And for drivers too, because with a better system like that, like we can keep things more consistent, no matter if it's driver A or B handling the orders.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't have much programming knowledge, but I did when I was in my corporate job. I don't know if I shared with you before, but I did do a intro level Python 1 and 2.
You mentioned, I remember.
So I could do like print hello world. It's one thing I regret. I wish I would have had more bandwidth. Maybe I can carve up some time, because it was interesting to me. Just like, you put this in and you get that out. And it's just like, it's cool. I mean, that's your world.
That's where everybody starts though. Hello world. Yeah.
Right. Well, you got to start somewhere. But speaking of the world, we'll let you back out in it. Well, I know you're a busy fella. I really appreciate the chat. I always enjoy our chats, whether it's updating over coffee or on a podcast. And, you've kind of been with me from the start in terms of podcast guests. And
thanks for having me on this journey.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on again.
Of course.
You're a very interesting and intelligent guy, and I wish you all the best with Haligone and the expansion. And I'll definitely be keeping in touch to see how things are progressing, and we'd be happy to have you on again when we have some more updates, especially maybe on the expansion in terms of the lunch program and all that good stuff. But it sounds like you guys are doing awesome stuff. You're finding your niche, and being busy is a good problem to have. So I hope you keep busy, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, and thanks for having me for the chat and just catching up, after the last time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will keep you posted too. Yeah.
For sure, man. Yeah, we'll be in touch. Enjoy your little gift, and hopefully it's I shamefully ate a jar of that. I don't know if you noticed the bacon jam.
I saw the bacon jam.
Yeah,
right there.
It's good. I ate it with a box of crackers, but you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah. Never had one, so that's going to be first time I try.
For sure, man. All right. Well, you have a great one. Have a great weekend, and we'll be in touch.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.